Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi. Welcome to a new era of Shadow the Hedgehog. The new era of Shadow, shedding light on the ultimate Lifeform panel at Anime Expo. My name is Zeno Robinson. I will be your host today, so we can celebrate not just the fastest thing alive, but also the ultimate Lifeform. Yeah? That's right. Today we'll be talking about everyone's favorite anti-hero hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, as some of you may know, he may not be just a hedgehog. Who exactly is the ultimate Lifeform? What more can we learn about him? These are questions we will discover the answers to, not just in a new game coming out later this year, but also, you guys can cheer. You guys can cheer for the new game. Yeah. But also a brand new animated prologue from Studio Giggex. Give it up for them. You guys are going to love it. Okay, now let's get this panel started. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our panelists. Our first one needs no introduction. He's a director, producer, designer, screenwriter, the head of Sonic Team, and co-creator of Shadow the Hedgehog. Please give a warm welcome to the legend, Takashi Iizuka! No less is legendary. Please welcome the voice of the Black Blur, the ultimate Lifeform, Kirk Thornton! Next up, a legend in her own right, marking her debut as the kind-hearted and gentle Maria Robotnik, Stephanie Sheh! And rounding out our panel, the incredible directors at Studio Gigx, Alan Wan, Christopher Luck, and Kevin Molina-Ortiz. Okay, everybody, I'm just gonna wait for you guys to sit down, get comfy. How are we feeling today? How's Anime Expo treating you? Iizuka-san, I'll start with you.
I'm happy to be here, so thank you for coming. So I'm glad to talk about Shadow today.
Yeah, yes. Kirk.
What's up?
Yeah!
Okay, I guess it's me. I haven't been to an AX for like 5 years, but like the thing that was gonna bring me back was this.
Yeah. Alan, Chris, Kevin, how we feeling?
We're doing good. Shadow X. Oh, no. Sonic X Shadow Generation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Full house. Glad to see it. Awesome. Thank you for showing up.
Woo!
I'm very nervous. All right.
Give him a warm welcome. Make him feel welcome. Okay, I'm glad everyone's enjoying themselves. Just a quick temperature check. Who here's been a Shadow fan for at least 1 year? One year? Okay. How about 5 years? Okay. 10 years? Wow. 20 years? Wow, look at that. Okay, it's clear there are some Shadow fans here, but there might be newer people. I didn't see everybody's hand, so let's maybe walk through Shadow's history for a bit, yeah? Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog, also known as the Ultimate Lifeform, was first introduced in Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001 and served as a rival to Sonic. Sonic Adventure 2? Yeah? Sonic Adventure 2 fans? My personal favorite.
Thank you.
His next appearances were Sonic Heroes and Sonic Battle in 2004. Sonic Battle? We have Sonic Battle fans here. Yeah. He had his first standalone game in 2005, Shadow the Hedgehog. Wow, look at that. Outside of just the games, he made several appearances in various forms of Sonic media, including the IDW comics. We have some comics readers in the house. The animated series Sonic X. Sonic X fans. Sonic Boom, and more recently, Sonic Prime. Now, and he will be making his live action debut this year. Yeah. He's been a fan favorite for many years and has been rival, dark hero, and occasional ally to Sonic and his friends. This year, being the year of Shadow, we'll be seeing more of his story in Sonic X Shadow Generations. But you guys, we're all here to learn more about Shadow today, right? Right? There are some things you might not know. And who better to enlighten us about the ultimate life form than his father himself, Takashi Iizuka. Everyone give it up for Iizuka-san, please. Now, Iizuka-san, we just went through a brief history of Shadow's appearances in media. Now, what were his origins? What led to his creation? Okay, I think people know what this one is.
はい、シャドウが誕生したのは1999年に開発がスタートしたソニックアドベンチャー2だったんですけども、その時にはソニックに匹敵するライバルを作ろうということで、最初は考えていたんですけども、開発チーム私も一緒なんですけども、アメリカに渡米してでアメリカでソニックアドベンチャー2を作ったんですけども、その時にスポーンとかダークヒーローがすごいアメリカで人気だったんですよね。それのインスパイアを受けてライバルではなくてダークヒーローにしようということで、シャドウが誕生しました。
So Shadow was really born in 1999 when we began development on Sonic Adventure 2. In the beginning, we kind of thought, oh, we want a rival character, something to really contrast Sonic. So we need a rival character in this game. But at that time, all of the team flew over to America, and we started living and working in America. And when we got there, we realized dark heroes like Spawn, were really popular in America, and that really inspired us to make Shadow a different kind of character. And that's when we thought, we don't want him to be a rival to Sonic, we want him to be a dark hero. And that's really where Shadow was born, from an idea.
I think it's really cool to have characters like Spawn, who's like a character like we in the West are familiar with, be the inspiration for someone like Shadow. I had it in my notes that I was under this impression that he was also inspired by Vegeta from the Dragon Ball franchise. But wait, but Iizuka-san told me that's not true. It's not true. So I just wanted to clear that up because I thought that too. But it's super cool that like. It's not though. What were some of your inspirations about designing Shadow's his design and his personality?
はい、もうここにもパネル今表示されてますけども、ソニックのダーク版ということで、最初はこういろいろなバリエーションのデザインを考えたんですけども、これを当時サンフランシスコでフォーカステスト一般の人たちを呼んでフォーカステストを行ってで、その中でこう皆さんの一般の人たちの意見も聞きながら最終的なデザインにこう仕上げていったんですけども、その時に今中央の下にいる固めのこう切れたこれを我々の開発チームではテリオスと呼んでシャドウの次の候補だったデザインですね。
So in the beginning, we had a lot of ideas in putting into a dark Sonic character. That would be the Shadow design. And what you're seeing here are a lot of these sketches that we had that we wanted to bring to a focus test in San Francisco to see what the average person would think about all these different designs. And I believe in the middle there's a character with like a damaged eye. That was the design of the character that the development team were calling Terios back in the day.
で最終的には皆さんの知ってる黒と赤のデザインになるわけですけども、この黒と赤のデザインっていうのは実はその日本の歌舞伎からインスパイアされたデザインです。
So we did also want to choose kind of black and red as the theme colors for the character, and it was really inspired by the kabuki style of face paint, and that is part of the inspiration for Shadow.
それと先ほどお話したこのテリオスっていうキャラクターなんですけども、この当時は残念ながらボツになってしまったシャドウの前のデザインなんですけど、このテリオスっていうのをこの10月に発売されるソニック X シャドウジェネレーションズのデラックスエディションのスキンとして 実装することを決定しましたので、このゲームでしか遊べないキャラクターということでぜひ、皆さんご期待ください。
So we do have the design for the Terios character, which was a concept design for the character that didn't make it all the way through. We ultimately went with the shadow design that everyone knows and loves. But coming out this fall, this October, in Sonic X Shadow Generations, we are also offering a skin to turn Shadow into Terios, so you can play as Terios inside of the game.
That's really cool. He looks cool, right? He looks cute. I think it's really cool as a gigantic fan of Sonic the franchise and Shadow to like see artwork of the developmental stages of how Shadow came to be. Is there any significance to the name Terios? Why did you guys settle on that name?
I have no idea.
I was wondering if it meant something. I think it's really cool that you get to play as the Terios skin in Generations. That's really cool. I'm excited for that. Now, Iizuka-san, can you tell us what makes Shadow different from Sonic?
はい、そうですね。一言で違いを言えばやっぱりダークヒーローっていうところなんですけども、ソニックが正義や平和を守るまさにヒーローなんですけども、シャドウは目的のためなら誰がどうなろうと関係ないっていう危うさを持つキャラクターなんですよね。だから決してシャドウは正義のヒーローではない。だから道端で困っている人がいても助けないっていうそういう大きなソニックとシャドウの違いがあって、この性格の違い完全に真反対なソニックとシャドウの性格に加えて、でシャドウはもう愛すべきマリアのために命がけでこの星を守るっていう正義ではないけどマリアが愛した星を守るっていうのが彼の一番の目的なので、そういう彼の内なる思いっていうのも彼のシャドウの魅力だと思います。
So to sum it up in really one word, I'd say, Dark Hero is what really defines Shadow and makes him different from Sonic. So Sonic will be a very positive, cheerful, character that's going to go out there and do whatever it takes to bring peace to the world. He wants to see justice kind of played out. He's very much a true hero, but Shadow is more of a dark hero. He's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done. He's going to focus on what that thing that he needs to do is, and only, really focus on getting that done. So it's not really like, it's a little bit of a selfishness, but it's also because he's such a dark hero and he's pushing towards his goals. It really defines him as a character differently from Sonic and makes him unique. And really, when we talk about the differences between Sonic and Shadow, Sonic will do whatever it takes to save the planet because of the justice and really the truth in him as a character. But Shadow, he wants to protect the planet because Maria, who is so close to, loves the planet. And so he's doing it out of this love and connection with Maria that he will also do whatever it takes to save the planet. So they're both very much heroes, but it's that dark hero element that really makes Shadow cool and unique.
Yeah, I think the best kind of anti-hero is somebody who has something important that they fight for, because it really gives them a lot of layers. And Shadow's relationship with Maria is a really, really cool, integral, central driving force for Shadow. Having that being told by Iizuka-san himself is super cool. So I think I can speak for many of us when I say we've all been waiting for years for new pieces of Shadow's past and his backstory. So why are we telling his story now in Sonic X Shadow Generations?
はい、皆さんもご承知の通りですね、今年の12月にいよいよシャドウが出演する映画が公開されます。でこの映画のタイミングでより世界中の人々にシャドウの魅力を知ってもらおうということで、今回ソニック X シャドウジェネレーションズを発売する、ことに至りました。なのでもともとソニックジェネレーションズっていうのはソニックを知らない人たちにクラシックソニック、モダンソニックの良さを知ってもらおうっていうゲームだったので、今回のシャドウを世界中の人に知ってもらおうっていうにはいいフォーマットだったんじゃないかなと思っています。で シャドウといえばやっぱり悲しいバックグラウンドのあるストーリーなので、今回のこのゲームでもそのストーリーにはかなり力を入れてますのでご期待ください。
So as you know, this December we will see Shadow featured in movie 3. It should be a really great movie. And in order to really introduce everyone to Shadow before we get to the movie, we wanted to release something that could really do that, would be a good vehicle for that. And that's where we thought up Sonic X Shadow Generations. Originally, Sonic Generations was a game that was meant to introduce everyone to Sonic the Hedgehog. So it had classic Sonic in there, it had modern Sonic in there, and it was really like all these great moments from Sonic's legacy in one title. And by adding Shadow into that package, we now are able to introduce Shadow as a character inside of that same game alongside Sonic. And as everyone knows, Shadow does have kind of a sad background story, and we did want to spend a lot of time and energy kind of portraying that in the Shadow Generations side of the game. So we really hope everyone enjoys the game and enjoys the story in Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Woo! Wow. Well, I'm really excited. Thank you so much, Iizuka-san, for your incredible insight into Shadow. I've been a huge fan of Sonic for many years, and it's been one of the greatest honors of my life to be able to sit here and speak with you directly about Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic. I also think it's the perfect time to show the world Shadow's charm and story. And who better to help us do that than our voice actors? If there's one thing we know about Shadow, it's that his past follows him everywhere he goes. With all these new elements of Shadow being revealed, and we have the upcoming animation, I like to ask our actors who are breathing new life into these scenes and into these moments, their thoughts and experiences with them. Kirk, you've been voicing Shadow for years now.
Yeah.
Do you do anything new when exploring this previously unseen side of Shadow?
I'm learning more today than I have learned in years doing Shadow. I mean, I'm getting so much stuff here. It's amazing. I wish I'd been able to sit down with Iizuka-san sooner. Sooner?
Sooner.
Yes, I speak for a living. Thank you very much. No, I mean, yeah. Because over the years, Shadow has always been very cool and unflappable. And recently I've been discovering different sides of Shadow with the Twitter takeovers and the Lego commercial. So
the Lego commercial. It was so good.
I'm seeing
you went trending for that, I think.
I'm seeing different sides of Shadow, but as far as the game goes, the cool, unflappable side, there's always been something underneath it. And finally, we're starting to pull out all those things and figure out what is driving that cool, what's driving that unflappable, what's brewing under the surface. So that's what we've been getting with this game, you see. And the team has decided to let a little bit of that emotion out at times, and it was a lot of fun, doing this game because playing down, and then all of a sudden being able to erupt and let some of that emotion out that's been brewing underneath all this time.
That's so cool. I really love sort of the methodical, artistic approach you take to Shadow about the emotions and how much to show and how little to show. And there's so much, I'm sure, new stuff in this game that will reveal more sides to him that I'm really excited to see. So from the new things that you've seen, has it changed your understanding of the character at all after all these years? Is there anything new that popped up during your performances for the for the game?
Absolutely. As I was mentioning, up until recently, I hadn't gotten to explore his history. I hadn't gotten to explore what happened with Maria and how he was created and his whole mission in life.
Yeah.
And that is flushed out in this game. And it's been a real team effort. It's all the people at Sega. It's Jack Fletcher, the director, who's incredible, and we've all done this exploration together to try to find it. And what's really cool is that even though there'll be 8, 9 people in on a session, and they were all throwing out, what they think we should be doing, what path we should be taking, and we all kind of agree, yes, we're taking this path, and yet what's really wonderful is that sometimes after we do all this work and the animation gets done and they send it back to us and we go, oh shoot, we missed something, and the Sega has given us the license to go back and go, yes, this is how we fix it. And, because it's expensive to go back into the studio and redo something, but they're taking the time and giving us the opportunity to go back and get it right.
Wow. Wow. As big of a fan as I've been of this franchise for so many years, this might be like my first time sort of hearing about like how a typical session would go, or like the creative process from like animation to voice to screen, then corrections. It's really like fascinating, and it's really cool to hear like how particular and how specific and how careful and precious we are about this franchise and the characters and all the love and work that goes into it. And it's really clear on like when you see it on the screen. It's so clear. So it's super cool how much time and attention goes into Shadow. And like, it's cool that the events of this game, I'm sure, alter how like you've played Shadow, and probably have altered how you're going to play Shadow, like moving forward, right? Yeah. So that's super awesome. But I want to take this over to Stephanie. Yeah. Stephanie, Maria is so integral and so important to Shadow's story. She's such a beloved character. You hear that? Look at her. No, don't say she looks like Aerith. Because we know. How did you step into her character? How did you find her voice?
I really, thankfully, had, our voice director, Jack Fletcher, and the entire Sonic team. There was a lot of faces on a Zoom call when we were recording, and they had so much insight, and they helped guide me in terms of, like, performance. I think for me, I was, like, mostly focusing on things like her age and then also her, like, illness, right? Because the illness can be, like, a real trap. Because she has these excited emotions and these concerned emotions, or, not giving my story, there's certain things that happen, but like, you're not always like, I'm weak and sick, like you have to kind of like gauge when that comes through and when it's not appropriate, when the emotion is so big that it kind of like overrides whatever like physical weakness she might be feeling. And like Kirk said, we actually, which doesn't happen a lot. I don't know if you guys know this. Like when we record other video games, it really doesn't happen a lot. You go in there and you do your lines and you're like, bye, and then that's it. And then like months later, it comes out. And like they brought us back and we redid the scenes, like sometimes 3 times, or more, because they would tweak things, or they would, and sometimes it was for some kind of like physical element of the action, but other times it was like tweaking the character. Things like that. So I really relied on them, and they were really great. In terms of her sweetness, like that was easy for me.
You do play a lot of like very sweet characters.
Because, like I don't know if you could tell this, but like I believe what's really funny. I have a really good friend. She's the complete opposite of me, and we're best friends. She's like, all humans are bad. Of course this person was
so
bad.
Shadow.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, everyone has the capacity for change. I believe that there's goodness in people.
Can you hear it?
Here's the thing. I really do believe that. So even like when the world is going crazy and like you're seeing horrible videos of people, and I'm really like, everyone can change. Like I really believe that. So yeah.
So it sounds like you were perfect. You were like the perfect. You're a perfect choice for the role.
I can relate in terms of that.
And from what I know about like you as an artist, like when you were talking about like performing with the specificity and things like that, you were very specific and like juggling. I'm sure like juggling like the illness and like how to weave that into your performance was something super specific. And so I really am like in awe of like how you can do that. I'm sure it'll like give her a lot of really cool like nuance, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Was there any like challenges about balancing those emotions with the physicality, like in the performances? And like, you know, how did you explore like Maria as a character alongside that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was the hardest thing, is like balancing like the illness and the emotional moments. And honestly, I relied on the team to really guide me, because like they had a much clearer vision than I did in terms of like how the scenes were playing out and what the moments needed. In terms of the pressure, I'm a little bit of a newbie to this whole universe. I had no clue until when they said that I was going to be on this panel, and I started getting text messages from people like telling me like how important this role is, you know, and don't mess it up. And I mean, by then I already did it, you know.
Right.
So I was like, oh gosh, I'm so glad I didn't know, because I think if I knew, I would have so much pressure, you know. And luckily I just could just be in the world, listen to the direction, and, you know, without having to be like, oh no, don't mess it up, you know. So
I think that's something we as actors always feel whenever we do anything. It's always like, I hope I don't ruin this. I know a lot of people like this thing, you know. I'm sure you killed it. I'm sure you did amazing. Oh, wow, I should have said that when it came to Maria, right? Okay. Kirk, Stephanie, from each of your perspectives, how would you guys describe the relationship between Shadow and Maria? I know. Look at them. Sorry, guys.
Well, to speak in actors' terms, Maria is my super objective. She is my reason for everything I do. So yeah, she's just everything. And so I was created to protect her. And when I fail that mission, it devastates me, or Shadow. I'm okay with it. Devastates Shadow.
You're in it. You're in it now.
And so that's why, you know, he dedicates his life to protecting Earth because of that. So she just everything to Shadow does.
His driving sort of force.
Yeah, the complete driving force behind his life.
Stephanie?
Okay, so in my mind, when I was thinking about it, I was like, she grew up very isolated. She had like nobody, you know, and other than Shadow. And the thing that I could relate to is that like during the pandemic, when we were alone in our houses, I had my dog. And I'm not like, and check it out, this is gonna sound weird, I'm gonna say comparing Shadow to my dog. But my dog is also black and reddish tan. So, and my dog is super sweet, but he also gets a little too aggressive when he's trying to protect me. See? And so like, anyways, it's just the parallels. Anyways, but I do think that like, you know, and I'm the driving force, I ground him, you know, he brings him back to like, the less rabid stage,
right,
you know, when he gets worked up. But yeah, that's how I kind of like I relate to that.
She kind of sort of operates as like his moral center, right?
Yes, like, totally, like moral compass.
Like Shadow is this incredibly powerful, you know, like being, and that power, if in the wrong hands or with the wrong moral center, can go out of control, right?
Right, unleashed,
yeah,
can be bad, right?
And so Maria sort of like grounds him in that way.
Yeah, like reins him in.
Yeah. Do you guys have a similar relationship? Like, who's the moral center here between the two of you? See, it's perfect. Amazing. I really love how in-depth everyone's answers are. Like, as an actor myself and as an artist, I like it's really cool hearing how everyone works and how you both work with character work and in the booth. So that's super, super cool. Maria gives Shadow purpose and direction, and I'm sure they both were each other's only friend. Their bond is integral to their characters as well as the story. So, speaking of that bond, we are incredibly excited to show you that bond in action. In motion, we have an exclusive preview of the animated prologue from Studio Giggex. Please enjoy.
Professor Gerald made me the ultimate life form.
I should be the key to all manner of medicines, curing you.
You and Grandfather are doing your best. I'm just as happy to spend time with you here while you both research.
Just wait here. I'll be back. I promise.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. I have chills. Wow. That was an exclusive preview of Sonic X Shadow's Generations Dark Beginnings from Studio Gigx. Give it up for them, guys. I mean, I'm low-key blown away. That was like a minute of animation. That was like a minute. I can't see the rest of it. Now remember, Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings is a 3-episode prologue coming out later this year. Here I have with me the directors. Oh, you guys are giving up for that? Yeah, 3 episodes. Here I have with me the directors, Alan Wan, Christopher Luck, Kevin Molina-Ortiz. You guys, that was crazy. That was cinematic.
Thank you so much.
Like the music, the compositing, the everything. It was amazing. There's so much to unpack, so let's get started. Alan, what do you think makes these animated episodes different from the animations we've seen from Sonic so far?
So, when Sega was looking to create these animated shorts to retell Shadow's past for Sonic X Shadow Generations, when we met with executive producer Yukio Kusumoto, he specifically asked for something that's unique and a little bit different, departure of the past iterations. And so Sega had a kind of envisioned something that's a bit edgier, something that's a cross between anime and Western animation. And the 3 of us here all worked on Rise of the TMNT. Thank you. And so we felt very confident that we can do this because we're dying to make some real anime.
Yeah.
So when we... you gotta...
Let them cook.
Yeah. But anyways, so we received this really great script written by Ian Flynn, and we were thrilled to have the opportunity to explore a bit more of a darker, more intimate story about Shadow's past. So yeah, we were super excited about this, but we were only the pre-production side of the puzzle. We also have a partnering studio named Studio Simage that does the production work for us, led by Matthew Chow. And you know, the stuff that you just saw, like we were able to have a vision, but to execute it, it requires a lot of technical know-how, so we were very happy to have them to be our partners. And their production manager, Ruth Seek, is among the audience, please, over there.
Yeah.
Simage, you guys
Thank
killed
you so
it.
much.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
give it up
much.
for the production managers. cool. Chris, Kevin, Shadow first appeared in the video games, right? So, like, what was the approach to sort of adapting, like, the speed, the emotions, all the abilities you see sort of in the games into animation? Like, was there anything, like, kind of challenging or that you found about that, like, surprisingly?
So I'll speak from like the more emotional standpoint. Like, so as we all know, Shadow's a very dark, brooding, lone wolf, what I say, emo character, right? But he's also one that harbors a lot of grief and emptiness. You know? So as such, like during the story process, a lot of attention was like paid to the overall feel and the mood of these shots. So when you watch the animation, like you'll see a lot more moody shots. We thought it was a great opportunity to like reveal a more personal side of Shadow that's rarely seen, and it's something we feel the audience has been kind of wanting to see for a very long time.
Do we agree, audience? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so for his like more tangible aspects of his visual persona on screen, a lot of his powers and abilities, you know, you play them in game, you see them in cutscenes, but how would they look in a cinematic representation? And so the expansion on that was essentially, our approach was to ask ourselves the question of like, you know, how is the air displaced when Shadow exits a room super quickly? What does it sound like when his boots activate? Is it automatic? Is it sensed from the friction or from the speed? Does it create heat? All of those really like intricate questions helped us structure and design a new sort of in-depth take on what you see on screen.
That's super cool. Give it up for that. And you can see it, right? Like when he ran through the hallway, how the air could have whipped behind him, and the activation of the boots. It's stuff that like the detail and the emotions you can feel it in every like frame. It was so cool. So Chris, Kevin, a lot of care clearly was placed into the tone, the emotions of Shadow and Maria and their story. Was there any sort of overall messages that you and the team, that all of you wanted to convey about these characters and this story?
Yeah, so I'll speak from technical standpoint. Like for the quiet moments, again, very careful placement of the camera. You'll definitely see it. More like nuance, like lighting were considered. And the facial acting was something we focused on too as well. We wanted acting to be like felt, you know, with the dialogue, while not being too cartoony or too animated, to preserve like a much more like mature feel.
And for, well, as we've said quite a bit on stage, the bond between Shadow and Maria is sort of an anchor point for the short. It's something we really want to put a lens on because it's, you know, in relation to the more cinematic tone. The idea is to make sure that it not only motivates your character, but you have to ask yourself, you know, how does a character react to a decision or to a decision presented to him based on his trauma, based on his past? And so we directed our board artists to really focus in on the subtext, the subtle acting. Shadow's more than just a grimace and a cool face. Like, what accent can you add to that helps define him more than that? Something that helps communicate this heavier tone, and something that can encapsulate the feeling of longing you have for someone that's not there anymore.
Wow. 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 And I'm sure, like, with all these elements put together, the direction, the animation, the acting, it sort of serves, like, giving multiple layers to something that, like, a deeper layer than maybe even, like, an audience may understand at first. Like my understanding of Shadow may be, oh, he's just sort of this moody, scowly, you know, individual. But then you peel back those layers into his past and how he really feels, and give him like a lot more emotion and dynamics, and it creates a very nuanced character. And so it just makes me really excited to watch the prologues. My jaw, and y'all jaw too, dropped when I saw the Gizoid, right? Like that was crazy. Like, so it's clear there's gonna be like a lot of like lore, like deep lore in these episodes. So what was it like introducing like all these new aspects of Shadow's story to everyone, and like kind of like fitting that in the greater like Sonic mythos, the greater universe? Was it and like, because like me, was there any times you guys fanboyed and what you guys had got to do? You know?
Yeah, so I mean, when we first got the script, I was like, you know, oh, there's so much lore. And then we started doing all the Wikipedias and all the fandoms. And the more we delved into Shadow's lore during pre-production, we actually realized, like, wow, there's a lot of fascinating concept twists and turns. There's so much to explore, you know. And it actually got us quite excited because it was like really deeper than I thought originally. So, you know, as such, naturally we took inspiration from like Evangelion and then FLCO. A bit of blame, you know, like Evangelion specifically is like excellent with regards to visual storytelling with like still or static compositions through a lot of use of unconventional cropping or like symbolic use of B-roll footage we felt was a really good match for this iteration.
Yeah, this type of visual storytelling that has like that more cinematic, more sophisticated tone, you take everything you've seen from games, like everything you've seen in Shadow's sort of lore and history that's been established in the franchise, and you have to ask yourself, like, what does this look like in this more psychologically complex iteration of the character? So even if there are familiar moments, it's portrayed in such a different way that something that was familiar may feel new. And so there was a lot of moments of excitement from the whole team for that.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I am equally as excited. I think it's really cool when people who like you can tell when like love is poured into something, especially if you're a fan of it. That was incredibly insightful. Thank you, Alan, Christopher, Kevin. I can't wait to see all three. I am gonna stay plugged. Thank you so much. Yes. And everyone, please stay tuned. Stay tuned into Sega and their channels for more information on when the prologue episodes will be out. But to show our thanks for everyone who's in the audience today, you should already have your exclusive posters. Yeah, posters, everybody, we were good. But if you don't, please see the staff at the back entrance. If you don't have your poster, please see them on your way out before you leave to get your poster. With that, we wanted to show some love to our Sonic community and our Shadow community and answer a few community questions that were submitted earlier this spring. And they're community Q&A, so yeah. Our first question is from @Zephyr's Sword. Their question is, I don't know if it's gonna come on screen, but their question is, if Sonic likes chili dogs, what does Shadow like? Coffee beans? Like
Yeah, you're
straight?
Yeah.
Surely something to rival Sonic, right? Kirk, do you agree
No,
with coffee beans, or do you have another answer?
Well, I got something else. I mean, yes, he does love coffee beans.
Coffee?
But you know, the chili dog's kind of you know, it's junk food, and so he is a hedgehog, so it would have to be something kind of junky, but something very particular to him.
Right.
I think it would be a version of a jalapeno popper. It would be a jalapeno popper because that's kind of spicy. But in order to darken it up, you know how they got the cream cheese inside there?
Right.
To add a little sophistication and a little darkness to it, you'd have to have just a little layer of caviar in that cream cheese on the jalapeno popper.
That caviar jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
That's the most cursed thing.
Some restaurant now needs to make that and call it the Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, Sonic would, like, not understand, right? Like, that makes no sense to eat. Hey, Iizuka-san.
Yeah.
How accurate are these answers?
I don't think he doesn't like her.
What about the coffee bean?
Yeah, but I heard from Shadow that he loves black coffee.
Broccoli? Wow. Broccoli?
No, broccoli, black coffee.
Oh, black coffee.
Yeah.
Black coffee. That's very him.
Oh, okay.
Black coffee.
There you go. I was about to have to change my whole character.
I can see the fan art now. Shadow of the coffee mug. The next question is from Candy Pirate. At Candy with 2 Y's Pirate. This question is for Mr. Iizuka. During the battle against Final Hazard in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow ponders out loud that Sonic might be the real ultimate life form. What made Shadow associate Sonic with this title near the end? And remember, Shadow gets amnesia almost right after this. So does he remember ever telling Sonic? Does Sonic remember? Like, I don't know.
そのシーンっていうのは最後のファイナルリザードをスーパーシャドウとスーパーソニック2人でこう倒したシーンの後なんですけど、スーパーシャドウはその時にこう力尽きて、最後こう地球に落ちていくっていう時にソニックに対してお前が究極生命体なのかもしれないなって言うんですけど、それはシャドウが命が尽きると自覚したからそう認識したんであって、結局彼は生きてたなのでいややっぱりソニックじゃなくて俺こそが究極生命体だということで今なってます。
So yeah, in that scene we have Super Sonic and Super Shadow both fighting to defeat the final hazard, and in that moment Shadow is kind of out of energy. He's falling to earth. He feels defeated, but Super Sonic is not defeated. And so in that moment he thinks maybe Sonic is the ultimate life form, but in the end he doesn't die, and so he changes his mind and says, actually, no.
Never mind, it's
the ultimate
me
life
again.
form.
I love that. That's actually a good answer. That makes sense. I love how he wakes up, he's like, never mind, it's actually me. Yeah, I knew it. It was me the whole time.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Our final question is from @pink_rose. What does Shadow like to do as a relaxing hobby? Does Shadow relax? Is Shadow capable of relaxing?
Oh, I think absolutely.
Yeah? He relaxes?
Yeah.
I'm wondering. I was like, I don't know. He doesn't seem very relaxed.
Well,
what would he do? What would he do?
I think he might do Tai Chi.
Okay.
Really, really fast.
Really?
So that he starts here
And then ends there.
And it's like, so what'd you think of the routine?
Right.
You can't even see it. It's so fast.
I know that Maria and Shadow, their dream was to go to Earth, and I think that could be kind of relaxing for them, right? If that were to happen with the two of them, what do you guys think they would do?
I feel like it would have to be something that they can't do on the arc, right?
Right.
So go swimming, because I don't think there's a pool.
A beach
Or
episode.
a beach vacation. I think Maria would want to hang out with the animals.
Iizuka's like, no.
No. She would just eat ice cream and binge Netflix.
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe ice cream, Amazing. Well, we are almost at time. Thank you so much to our panelists, Iizuka-san, Kirk, Stephanie, Alan, Chris, Kevin, all of you. We love you. You have all been an excellent, excellent crowd. You guys are incredible. Thank you. Please follow the Sonic social channels. Stay up to date with Sonic X Shadow Generations. Don't forget to stop by the Sega booth in the Exhibitors Hall at booth 3720 to pick up some exclusive Shadow merch they have this weekend. There's a cool little pin. There's a couple pins. There's some posters, some shirts. If you're excited to see Shadow's story like I am, Sonic X Shadow Generations will be out October 25th, 2024. That's actually my birthday. It's available for pre-order right now on all platforms. The digital deluxe edition will include that very cool Tyrio skin that Iizuka-san mentioned earlier. If you sign up for the Sonic X Shadow Generations newsletter, you'll receive the Sonic Jam Legacy skin. Yeah, when Sonic X Shadow Generations launches. Now, before we say goodbye, I see people leaving. Don't leave yet. I want us to do a group chaos control. Yeah? Can we do a chaos control? I brought the chaos emeralds as well. Can we please? Can we please? Okay. That's so cool. Put the emerald down? Did you guys want to hold an emerald?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'll give you are the master.
Okay.
I want one. You want a pink one?
Sure.
I'll give you the green one, the
All
other
right,
green
cool.
one. Emeralds for everybody. Emerald.
何すんのこれ聞いてないよ。
Emerald. Oh, look, you get one too.
Sure, all right.
Yeah,
thank
wait,
you.
actually,
All right, yeah, you got
Okay, and I want to take a picture. All right, I do. This is super cool. Okay. Chaos Blast instead. Chaos Control. Control. That's the main one. That's the main one. Okay. Okay, on 3, we're going to do Chaos Control, okay? Everyone, you guys want to
Your
look
voice.
here? Or, all right, yeah. Okay, 1. Wait, how do I do this holding this mic?
Go on, figure it out.
1, 2, 3.
Chaos control!
Yeah! Thank you so much, you guys.